Hey, this is Kevin Rail from Pine Pond Superfoods. Now today we're going to talk about something I hold very dear to my heart, and that's called kombucha. And I'm in the process right now of making a brand new batch of it, and I'm going to show you the process. So the first thing I've done is I've brewed some tea, and I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see it. Right there, see? I've got 1.5 gallons in there, and then I'm going to add this to that batch right there. That right there, my friend, is organic cane sugar. So in order to make kombucha, you must have tannins and caffeine and sugar all combined together, and you must have a SCOBY and starter tea. So first thing I did is I brewed 1.5 gallons worth of tea right here, and I'm going to add my sugar, and I'm going to let that settle, and I'm going to let it come to room temperature, and the next thing I'm going to do is add this to my SCOBY and starter tea, which is in my vessel. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, we're now ready for the next phase in the process of making our own homemade kombucha. Now, just to paraphrase from what I told you before, we're going to brew ourselves 1 gallon of tea. Now, for every gallon, you want to use 10 tea bags. It needs to be black or green tea that has caffeine and tannins in it. And for every gallon, you also want to add 1 cup of sugar. I highly suggest using organic cane sugar to that. Then you're going to let it sit for, I don't know, a couple hours until it becomes to room temperature. And then we're going to extract our tea bags, and then we're going to put it into our vessel with our SCOBY and starter in it. So right now, I'm just going to show you what I do. I take my tea bags out, and you want to squeeze them. Make sure to get as much juice out of there as you possibly can, because you want your tea to be very concentrated. And by doing so, you're going to end up with a much better product in the end. So, I'm sitting here extracting my tea bags. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to explain to you why you want to drink kombucha in the first place. Kombucha is a effervescent, very delicious, very nutritious drink that is high in probiotics. So we hear about probiotics all the time, and people always eat yogurt, and they eat fermented foods and sauerkraut and kimchi and all that stuff, which I eat as well. But kombucha is really highly composed of probiotics, so it's going to help with the flora inside your gut, which is the good bacteria, which overall is going to help you digest foods better, all around. So when you get to that point, your body's going to function better. You're going to have better, healthier joints. You're going to have better brain function, better skin. You're going to excel better when you're working out. You're going to recover faster from your workouts, and you're going to have better and more sound sleep. So all that rolls into the fact that you want to get good flora in your stomach, and kombucha can get you there. Also, it helps detox your system really fast, so you get rid of toxins and poisons. And I feel a very high amount of brain function when I drink kombucha as well. And also, it is very alkaline, so it helps flush acid out of your system as well. And when your body's alkaline, you're also resistant to disease, so it therefore boosts your immunity. So with all those benefits in mind, you definitely want to drink kombucha. And by making it at home, it's a fun process, and it's kind of like a chemistry set that you used to have in 2nd grade. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our kombucha and we're going to put it into our vessel. Okay, it has now come time to finish our kombucha making process. So I've got my soon-to-be kombucha in this bucket right here, also known as a pot. This is actually tea right now with our organic cane sugar already mixed in it. This, my friend, I'm going to hug it, this is our vessel. So you want to get yourself a 1.5 to 2 gallon glass vessel, also known as just a glass container. I got this from World Market. I've got a couple of them floating around. And in the bottom is my SCOBY. Get a good look at that. Oh, you smell it? That's a very ripe SCOBY right there. I've been building that for a while. It's thick, it's gooey, it looks like a brain. Anytime anything looks like a brain, it's really good for you, evidenced by the fact that pecans are so good for you and walnuts. So what I have in here is a pre-existing SCOBY and some starter tea. So SCOBY is an acronym that stands for symbiotic, not colony, what's the other word? Symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. But the C is oftentimes called something else, and I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. You don't have to memorize that. Just remember SCOBY. SCOBY is powerful. It is healthy. It is where the magic begins. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tea, we're going to pour it in here. The SCOBY is going to interact with the tea, and we're going to let this sit for 7 to 10 days. When it's done, it's done. We can then extract the kombucha out of here, keeping a little bit left in the bottom of our container for doing a continuation process where we can keep on making it over and over again. Then what we can do is take the kombucha we extract from here and put it into another vessel, such as this one right here. And then we can put some fruit in here and make it a fruity flavor or any kind of flavor that we would like. So that's called the second fermentation. But for right now, you need to know this. We're gonna make one fermentation of kombucha. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in here. So I'm gonna get my ladle out and put a few drops in here first because this is a high amount of material to be putting in here, and I don't want it to go crack-a-lacking all over my kitchen floor. So again, you want to get yourself a SCOBY and a starter tea. Where do you get one of those? Well, you find someone who makes kombucha already, and they'll be more than happy to hook you up with one, and all you need is about a mason jar full of it, starter tea, and a small SCOBY. And then it will just grow on its own once you start your own batch. You can also go to probably Amazon.com or any website these days that has a specialty for kombucha, and you get yourself a SCOBY there as well. And also look at your local health food stores. You might be able to find one there as well. So there's a couple different options you have. This one was given to me back in the summer, and I've been using it ever since, doing a continuation process. So what I do is I'll stir the bottom one more time to make sure the sugar, if any is left, is all agitated. So remember, it's the sugar and it's the caffeine that makes the kombucha, and that's what feeds off in the SCOBY. So don't be shy with your sugar, and don't worry about the sugar content because it will get eaten alive to produce your kombucha. So here we go. Ready? Check this out. Here we go. Isn't this fun? Hope I got enough room in there. I think I'm gonna have just enough. All right, we're there. Oh, look at that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get ourselves a cheesecloth like this one right here. We're gonna fold it over about 2 or 3 times. We're gonna set it on top, and then we're gonna take a rubber band. We're gonna sink her down like this. Whoops. Make sure that your cheesecloth is nice and straight on there. Lock it down. Boom. Make it nice and tight. See that? Nice and smooth across. This is our new batch right here. Now, this is very important. You want to take your vessel and you want to put it in an area that's rather warm and out of the sun at the same time. I know it's a little ironic. So, predominantly you want to be around 75 to 80 degrees wherever you put your vessel. Try not to go below 70 degrees because if it gets too cold in your room, it can kill your SCOBY, and you don't want to kill your SCOBY. Remember, this is alive. So remember that. And also, one last thing. Take your vessel and hug it and give it love every single day. And if no one's looking, you can kiss the vessel too, but you didn't hear that from me. You want to put love into this stuff. The more love you put into your kombucha, the more nutrient packed it's going to be, and the faster it's going to grow, and the better it's going to be in your gut and everyone else's out there, whoever you give it to. Okay? So there you have it. There's your long explanation of how to make kombucha at home. And this is Kevin Rail for Pine Pollen Superfoods. If you have any comments or questions, let me know, and I will surely answer them for you. Until next time.